So about a month ago, I made a fun little video about 10 cars in NASCAR history that should be officially made into diecasts. And while those are some good schemes to look at, there are so many more that can be made. So today, we'll look at 10 more cars that should be made into diecasts. Let's start this one off on fire, and maybe upside down as well. I'm talking about Clint Bowyer's 2007 Daytona 500 car, the raced version. Bowyer was largely a non-factor throughout the 2007 Daytona 500, but his last lap crash, flip, and fire on the car became one of the most iconic shots in the last 20 years in NASCAR. A diecast of this would surely be a popular one. Staying on the RCR bus, let's fast forward a bit to 2019 at Bristol. Bristol has been a host to many great moments, personalities, and such. And this past April was no different. This time, though, it was in the Xfinity Series for driver Tyler Reddick. And it had nothing to do really with Reddick. It was his sponsor and his car, the pink Dolly Parton Chevy. Reddick finished second, but had a car that stood out from the rest of the field. I'd say that a legend like Parton should at least have a diecast from this made. And since RCR became famous with 3, it's only fitting that we have a third and final RCR car on this list to finish off this whole deal. This being Jeff Burton's nationwide entry from 2008, the alternate Holiday Inn scheme. The neon yellow 29 with the purple and black car just looks great, and as a Vikings fan, I can appreciate a really nice piece of work that's purple. From one Burton to another, there's a diecast that should also be made, but it's a less lighthearted reason. On April 16, 2007, a lone gunman shot and killed 32 people and wounded 17 others at Virginia Tech. It was the largest school shooting in United States history. In respect to those who lost their lives, Virginia native Ward Burton ran a special paint scheme for the race in Richmond a few weeks after. I'd say that proceeds from this diecast being sold could go towards a number of causes, whether it be towards the family of the victims so many years later, or different causes that they may support. Whichever either Burton or the school or the families saw fit in respect to the victims. Now, back to more lighthearted schemes. Dale Jr.'s Duck Unlimited scheme. You don't remember it? Well, maybe it's because the scheme actually never saw the light of day or the light of a racetrack. Originally designed for the 2001 Winston, the car was rescheduled but quickly dropped for the famous white MLB car that we all know and love. If you want a better look at why this all took place, I'll recommend looking at NASCAR Man's article on Racing Reference, link down below. But to say the least, I'm pretty glad this ugly scheme never saw the light of day. From one DEI driver to another, we go to Michael Waltrip. The aforementioned Dale Earnhardt Jr. had won 4 straight races at Talladega, and Mikey was the only driver who was able not only to keep up, but also at times beat the clad red 8 car. He did that, and one of the most unique celebrations ever came from it, with him popping out of the roof hatch of his 15 car. A raced 1 version of this car, with an openable roof hatch, would be quite a unique piece to any diecast collector's resume. From one winner of an exciting race, we have another winner of an exciting race for a diecast with Marcos Ambrose and the Watkins Glen 2012 raced win version. The damage sustained from his hard battle with Brad Keselowski would truly make this car unique. And I'd say, well, let's even go a little more famous with our winners. We could have a diecast made for the 1967 Daytona 500 champion Mario Andretti. Being the legend to racing that Andretti is, NASCAR would have it in their best interest as part of any legacy collection they make to make a diecast of his car. Seeing how this was Andretti's only NASCAR win, it would heighten the overall value of the car as well. Now in 2009, not only was the racing world on for everyone to see, but there were other worlds on as well for others to see with the reboot of the series of Star Trek. And it was promoted on Justin Allgaier's 12 car in the Nationwide series. And while I am, or at least was, a Star Wars fan before Disney, maybe it's time to give the Trekkies a little bit of love in the NASCAR fandom. Now, for the final diecast, there's a popular lower-funded driver I have in mind, Norm Benning. In 2013, the first race at Eldora, Norm fought off hard charge after hard charge in the heat races beforehand to make the main event. Seeing lower funded guys like this racing harder and better than most that we see each week was just an amazing and fresh new thing for us. It was pure, and it won the respect of both the fans and those in the garage. And as somebody who is a Norm Benning fan, I'd love one day to see a diecast of this truck. But what do you think? What are some diecasts that you think should be made that I haven't talked about in this video or the most recent video on it I made? Let me know down below. And until next time, have a good one.